This is an analysis from Alpha Business Media. Today, we're diving into a critical paradox at the very heart of Nepal's economy. How can a nation have a world-class IT sector that's successful globally, while its own local businesses are being left behind in the digital dark ages?
So here's how we're going to break it down. We'll start wide, looking at Nepal's overall digital landscape. Then, we'll zero in on the real-world problems facing its core industries. From there, we expose the central paradox of its tech sector, before finally widening back out to present a powerful solution and a clear path forward.
You know, Nepal is really a tale of two different worlds. On one hand, you have an economy deeply rooted in traditional pillars like agriculture and tourism. But on the other, you have a government with huge digital ambitions. We're talking a goal of exporting over 3 trillion rupees in IT services. The big question is, can these two worlds ever truly connect?
To really understand what's going on, you have to look past the headline numbers. It's really easy to see stats about internet access and think everything's on the right track. But when you dig a little deeper, the data reveals a much more complicated problem. It's not about access anymore, it's about actual meaningful use.
Just look at this stark contrast. On paper, Nepal has more mobile connections than people, a penetration rate of over 120%. And yet, less than half the population are active internet users. So the devices are there, the infrastructure is there, but real connectivity, that's lagging way, way behind.
And this number? Well, this number is the real bombshell. A staggering 91% of adults can't even perform a basic digital task like copy and paste. This tells us the barrier has shifted. It's not about infrastructure anymore, it's about a fundamental lack of skills. This is what we call the usage gap, and honestly, it's holding the entire country back.
So what does this usage gap actually look like on the ground? Well, let's take a look at the day-to-day struggles in Nepal's 3 core economic sectors, because these are the exact problems that technology is supposed to solve.
First up, agriculture. This sector employs the vast majority of the population, but it is in a state of crisis. Farmers don't have direct access to markets, so they're forced to sell to middlemen who take a huge cut. They're basically operating in the dark, without basic data on weather or pricing. The challenge here isn't about fancy AI, it's about solving basic information and logistics gaps.
Then you've got tourism, a sector with just enormous potential, right? And yet, the average tourist spends only $41 a day. Why so low? Well, poor infrastructure makes getting around a nightmare, and a lot of the smaller hotels are still using pen and paper for bookings. This leads to constant overbooking and lost revenue. They are literally leaving money on the table because of simple, solvable inefficiencies.
And finally, let's talk about retail. Those small, family-run Kirana stores, the lifeblood of local communities, are getting squeezed from all sides. Many are still tracking their inventory in notebooks, so they have no real sales data to work with. And to make matters worse, the country's entire e-commerce ecosystem is failing because of a massive crisis of consumer trust. Okay, so you have all these deep, systemic problems in agriculture, tourism, and retail. And this brings us to the central paradox of this whole story. Nepal has this incredible pool of world-class tech talent. So the question is, why on earth aren't they solving these problems at home? Well, it's because that talent is focused completely elsewhere. Nepal's IT sector is a huge success story, exporting over $500 million in services to global clients every single year. They are building incredibly complex solutions for major companies in the US and Europe.
And listen to this quote from a discussion among Nepali developers. It really gets to the heart of the issue. They say the local IT culture lacks solution-oriented thinking for their own country's products. Instead, companies take the easy way out, working for foreign clients where all the tasks are neatly defined for them. They're missing the messy but critically important problems in their own backyard.
So, what's the solution here? It really requires a fundamental shift in perspective. We need a new growth model, something we call the Flywheel Effect.
The core idea is simple, but it's incredibly powerful. Instead of seeing the domestic market as an afterthought, the IT sector needs to see it as the starting point. By building tools for local businesses first, they can kickstart a virtuous cycle that ends up benefiting the entire economy.
Here's how that flywheel starts spinning. Step 1. The IT sector develops simple, affordable software for farmers, hotel owners, and shopkeepers. Step 2. Those businesses use these tools to become more efficient, more profitable. Step 3. Their success creates a brand new, sustainable domestic market for more IT services. And here's the best part. Step 4. These now battle-tested, made-in-Nepal solutions can be exported to other developing countries that are facing the exact same challenges.
And look, this isn't just some abstract theory, it actually works. The case of a small business called Hotel Kirana is a perfect, real-world example of this flywheel in action.
So before, the hotel was managing everything by hand, constantly fighting the risk of overbooking rooms. They decided to adopt a simple, cloud-based management system to solve that one specific problem. And the result? A 20% jump in revenue and a 10% increase in direct bookings. It was a small investment that solved a specific problem and delivered an immediate, measurable return.
Okay, so scaling this kind of success across the entire country is going to require a coordinated effort. Let's lay out a clear, actionable roadmap for businesses, for the IT sector, and for the government.
The strategy really has three main prongs. First, for small businesses, the advice is start small. Don't try to transform everything overnight. Just identify your single biggest headache, whether it's inventory or bookings, and find one tool to fix it. Second, for the IT sector, build for Nepal first. Dedicate real R&D to understanding local needs and creating simple, mobile-first products that meet them. And third, for the government, just focus on the basics. Aggressively fund digital literacy programs, pass the e-commerce bill to build trust, and make sure the internet actually works reliably.
And this brings us to our final thought. The great paradox of Nepal's IT sector is also its greatest opportunity. By turning its immense talent inward, by focusing on solving its own unique and pressing problems, Nepal can do more than just build a resilient economy at home. It can create a whole new class of solutions that the rest of the developing world desperately needs. So the real question is, will it seize this chance?